How are you guys? Another day starting to begin. We are heading to the mecca of bodybuilding, okay? Let's go. I repolarize this car to operate in perfect harmony with my body, okay? I also invoke the power of the Shokurei, Choqurei, over the car vehicle, okay? For optimal functionality. Okay, let's go. Today I'm reusing my 1992 tank top. I used it to wear in Italy when I was preparing for my first competition. Why I'm reusing after a workout without washing it? Because my wife is not yet back home, and she is the one that is due to do the laundry. So I'm keeping things ready for her come back to take care of business, okay? Today is the last day of my mesocycle, which means I have 8 days of rest in which I won't need any specific clothing. So even if basically all the good clothes are in the laundry basket, I will not need it for 8 days. So they might be ready when the next mesocycle begins. If I'm still on the planet, of course, because we only have now, and I don't know what is 5 minutes from now, and not even 2 minutes from now. Anything can happen. What I know is that I want to stay on the planet, that I am enjoying and full of enthusiasm on staying on the planet. Why, you say? Because I'm awakened. Because I know who I am versus what I believed that I was. And from this present point of knowingness, I would be ashamed to leave the planet now, because there is so much to enjoy and having a blast with. So, but of course, it is only now. So the goal is to be present and focused, feeling my own presence inside the physicality. Deep breathing, slowly breathing. Welcoming in my higher levels, welcoming in my entourage, my angelic, my archangelic presences, closer and closer. So as I say, who I am versus who I was. I've been thinking about this morning, and the reason I've been thinking is connected to my willingness to grow my YouTube channel, because I find it very, 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 very beautiful way to support my journey on this planet while sharing who I am, while sharing my challenges, while sharing how I overcome my challenges, while sharing who I perceived myself to be, and which were the challenges, how, when I overcame them, who I perceived myself to be. I came through this body on the planet this time around in 1972 in Italy, in a family of 2 professors at high school. And they were offering me education, an education that they deemed to be a good education. They were splitting their tasks, but this they shared to me, my father shared it to me, when I was already 10 years old, that they would have educated me, while my mother would have educated my sister. I was the older, so my first 4 years were just being the only kid in the family, okay? So I started receiving this education, but also the education weren't just all the rules that you needed to respect inside the house and towards the family members, and the rules that you had to offer outside when you go in society, when you go at school. At first, it was about the school, of course, because I actually didn't put a foot outside the house alone by myself, without any of my parents with me, or other relatives, before age 10, except for, of course, when they put me at school, when they delivered me at school, which started 1 year prior than the other kids. Usually you start the first elementary school at 6. They started me off at 5, because being them a professor, they were busy, so it was more convenient for them, because they couldn't oversee myself in the mornings, because they were working at school. So as soon as it was possible, even earlier, for me to go to school, they would put me there, and so they did. They tried actually to put me even at kindergarten, but I say no. I was there, I didn't find myself at ease there. I say no, I don't go to kindergarten. So I refused after the first day or two to continue going to kindergarten. So it was my grandmama, my mother, that started to take care of me in the mornings. Bless her heart, because she took care of me even 19, 20 years later. But I'm gonna share with it another time. So the education was very interesting, because there are the rules, but then the parents themselves, in their behaviors with one another inside the house, show some sort of difference. Sometimes big difference, sometimes small difference between what were the rules and what they actually behaved between themselves. So I guess that was already very confusing, and it showed up in my behaviors inside the house, because now that I realize the biggest challenges for me were how to behave inside the house, because I could quite easily, especially after my sister came into the game when I was going for 5, I could quite easily break the rules, and thus then being subjected to punishment that could be very harsh punishment, very tough and very physical punishment. So now that I look it, okay, for what it is, I can see how confusing little Stefano was, because it looked like the rules were not the same for the parents and the children, but I gave them an interpretation. So I guess those were one of the first judgments that I did inside my house, family house, living. Which means in the house I can reinterpret the law, all the rules of the family, and also all the rules that they gave me. And I could violate those rules in some circumstances. Now I have such an awesome, I'm having so much fun watching it for what it is, because it is actually starting now. And later I will work a lot on this to release it. It's fun. It's fun, guys. It's really fun. They tell you something, but then they don't arise to the occasion, so to speak. They behave different within themselves. So anyway, let's go to the interaction in society, okay? Society life, that was school, basically. The rule was study always, be educate, respect others, stay in your place, and you'll be fine. You stay in your place and you'll be fine. Now, I see that as one of the major scam that I received while interacting with brother humanity, because it installed in my software the fear to get out, I couldn't stand out because otherwise it was risky, could be punished. So I couldn't really express myself. So they were already suppressing my father was doing because the rule was that my father was educating me. So I was already being suppressed with that indication. You be educated, be serious, be well-mannered, and stay in your place. And that's what I'm still, playing with nowadays, where I let go of my father consciousness, but there are still different facets in any sort of situations that present, and they have to be addressed, because otherwise the whole picture doesn't change much. Start to change, but it doesn't become optimal, so to speak. Okay. So this was a part. The other part, the other part I'm gonna share maybe another day. And anyway, look into how we shape our personalities. And I can see now that the personality is not who we are. Who we are is fluidity, ease. And our bodies thrive when we don't have a personality, because they are free. They can do what they do, they can regenerate, rebuild themselves. Then there is a logic mind to be used, when you are in front of deep waters or in front of a cliff, you want to jump down or sink in, the logic mind. You don't want to go under a heavy object, stuff like that. So without a personality, without an identity, looks like everything can flow. We let the body be the body, we let the body regenerate, rejuvenate, rebuild itself constantly, and we have a logic mind to not harm the body integrity on a physical level, okay? So basically, all is well without the personality construct. But then we receive the software, and then we start experiencing the body slowing down, starting to present symptomologies, ailments, because of the judgments that we have in the program, because of all the constructs that are the judgments in the program. And some of them are unconscious, most of them. When I started researching, consciousness, experiences of other, I became exposed to the informations that 80% of what we do is 80% of our constructs is unconscious. So we are not even aware of it. So we believe that we have everything under control consciously, so that we can change beautifully and be done with it, but it is not. So we need to work. We have a lot to work. Say, how do you make that unconscious part starting to be transparent and being able to address by being in your presence and in the art center, okay? Without judgment. So living life like that, you walk in society, you walk at the gym, you go here, you go there. Immediately you will start to face challenges, things that you cannot do, no matter what. Or immediately you start facing outcomes in life that no matter what you do, no matter how much you study, no matter how much consciousness you have, no matter how much knowledge you have, nothing works. You are not gonna get the clients for a business, even if you know so much. You're not gonna succeed in receiving abundance to do everything that you perceive that you want to do. You're not gonna find acquaintances, friends, girlfriends, anything. You're gonna run in all those kind of challenges, and you don't know why, but those come because the show, most of it is run by the subconscious, the unconscious, what you don't know. And that's when you start having the beautiful opportunity to know it and to be able to say, no, thank you, but no thank you. Even if this can be true at other times in my life or in other incarnations, it is no longer true now. So anytime you can share with the body, with the mind, with yourself what is true now and what is not true any longer. So that's how we can truly change the experience on the planet. And it starts from going into the art center, because when we start releasing the judgment and we start feeling our own presence inside the body will start to expose because it starts to release all the blockages, it starts to release all the gunk. And with them, we will have an indications of all the blockages and what created the blockage. Because they're gonna become transparent. You're gonna have thoughts, you're gonna have memories. You gotta know why this is happening. Because anytime you have an ailment, anytime you have a pain, anytime you have a blockage, anytime you have a tension, you bring your presence into that area of the body, and the body will start immediately to talk to you. The body does not tell you stories. The body, as a matter of fact, to please you, has put, and to please me, has put all those judgments inside its storage. Whether they are tissues, whether they are organs, the blood, the organs, the connective tissue, the muscles, the eyes, the brain, the liver, the kidneys, the skin, anything. Because the body wants to please us, wants to please me. And to please me says, okay, you are so excited, even if I'm not, it's unconscious. Even if you are so excited about this thing, you think of it over and over again, you repeat this story over and over again, you are emotional about this over and over again, okay, I'm gonna keep it. It will take space. At some point, when I start taking a big space, then you started, at first it can be subtle, okay, unless you start becoming masterful like I am now. You don't pay attention, if you have a tightened solar plexus, if you have a little tension on the back of the neck, stuff like that. Because you go with emotion, you go with everything, that's present in your life. You really don't stop a moment to pay attention. when you wake up, it's different. You start when you really want to wake up and you want to overcome yourself, like I do. You start becoming aware because you do your homework. You start breathing, and integrating more of your lightness, of your presence inside the body, your liveliness. So now the body can expose and release the gunk. And the symptomologies are this release, where I do not get very fearful any longer about the symptomologies. Sometimes I still do, it's the ego obviously, but now they don't have so much power as they used to be. So I know just to let them happen and be down them. And come forth from them more vibrant, more lively, more excited than ever. But when you're not awakened, all this gunk accumulates and you start to feel really bad, because in any case it's always the body that is there regenerating, okay? So you start to have symptomologies when you're not awakened, but at that time there is so much fear in the ego that we have been taught we have to fix it, that we have been taught that we have to do something very practical. And it is okay. I will never say that it is not true. I will never say that other dear brothers have to do something versus something else. But I know and I share what I do for myself. What I do for myself is I don't give my power away to that any longer. And if I do for a brief time, some hours, maybe days, it will suck so much, it will be so painful to remind me that hey, it's time to lighten up, it's time to let go, it's time to talk with the body, share with the body, share with the mind. Body, you are safe, I am safe, and all is well. Mind, you are safe, I am safe, and all is well. Body, I'm well, you are well, and all is well. And mind, you are well, I am well, and all is well. Okay, so we just arrived to the Mecca of bodybuilding, and now this beautiful share ends, and we'll upload it later for you to enjoy, okay? For you to enjoy and possibly use it at your own advantage for what you feel ready to do or not. And what I ask to you, if you feel within yourself that this is good stuff, this is something that interests you, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, you will never miss a share again, okay? Thanks for watching, and namaste.